did have two questions next. I believe was Harold waiting to speak, and then I believe there was a text-based question, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Just a couple things. This is going back to what Roger was talking about. I have been reclaiming the word welfare, okay? This is making me a gadfly here in the United States, but it's something that I have confronted welfarist organizations about because, again, being a language wonk, my thing about welfare, the word welfare means to act in the best interest of anybody. And I say, so if you consider yourself a welfarist, are these campaigns you're doing in the best interest of? No, they're not, never are. So they can't even claim to be welfarist. Now, I can consider myself, I will call myself a welfarist inasmuch as I have a rescued dog. That dog I see as a refugee from of domestication, of domination, and so on. I was able to take this dog in before it was going to be killed and had my little Lola now for 11 years, and I love her to death. But the thing is what I'm doing is the best of my ability and my intellect is to act in the best interest of her. So in as much as the true definition of the word welfare, I'm a welfarist for Lola, the dog. And then I totally agree with, I'll relate a little story about the word mercy. I have a real problem with that. And here in the United States, we've got a very large organization called that uses the word mercy in its name. And I have confronted them. I said, so you don't talk about rights, yet you talk about being about mercy for animals. The word mercy, I said, if there truly was mercy, then what would that translate as? What is a logical extension of mercy? That you would spare their lives. You would take mercy upon them. And again, but we're not begging for that. And you're absolutely, as an organization, not begging for that. This is a situation where that word just does not work in the context of what we're about. So I think I don't know. You guys bring up so much great stuff, and I'm learning so much here that things are coming in and out of my head so quickly. I'm not hanging on.
Well, the check's in the post for you saying that, Harold. Can I just make one technical language point about the word welfare? You know, like welfare is associated with like you say, you know, like David Steibel talks about ill-fare, you know, welfare and ill-fare, but yeah, welfare is to do with well-being and this kind of stuff. And so that's why the traditional or the classical groups, the RSPCA, they're known as animal welfare groups. The more technical point that we need to understand to have this conversation is that when you say animal welfarism, that's talking about an ideology. That's talking about an ideology like speciesism, which is deeply embedded into the fabric of society. That's the way we need to understand it. And so welfarism is the set of values, norms and values and mores that we're grown up with and that we're socialized by our parents into. It's the kind of, you know, don't be cruel kind of issue. So there is a distinction to be drawn there, that if we're talking about the ideology of society and the values of society, we'd be talking about welfarism, whereas animal welfare would be almost like a campaign type thing. And it's got also that dictionary definition of, you know, for the good of others, that kind of thing, welfare, yeah.
Thank you.